This first team um, in the NFL in the AFC had a devastating loss early in the season, and they didn't necessarily have a number one wide receiver for a while. Went and traded for a guy who's been a number one wide receiver in two other places. Um, Quarterback was talked about, create just he was considered a turnover prone. He's changed that for this season. I'm not going to say for the foreseeable future, but he has changed that for this season. He's in the MVP conversation right now. From what I've been hearing, he's leading the MVP conversation. But this team has played well within these last. Then I can say within the last 10 weeks, but within the last 4 or 5 weeks, of course, they've definitely played well. And it's the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, the people that go through the tables like the Dudley Boys in the WWE or WWF, whichever one you want to say. I remember watching both, but the Buffalo Bills have played phenomenal within these last few weeks. They're 4-1 in the last 5 games, 8-2 in the last 10 games, and over the last few games, it just seems like they haven't had to worry about putting up a lot of points. It's pretty much worked out for them the way it should have. And in the last 6 games, they haven't scored less than 30 points. When they played against the Dolphins on November 3rd in Buffalo, they won that game 30-27. When they played the Colts on the road the very next week, they won 30-20. Then when they played the Chiefs, when handing the Chiefs their first and only loss this season, they beat them 30-21 at home. Then at home again against whatever you want to say about the 49ers. Injury riddled. That's my team. I have on a Fred Warner shirt. Either way, they blew out the 49ers in a game 35-10 in the snow. Blew them out. It wasn't even close. Then they played the Rams the very next week on the road going to LA. They lose that game, but they put up 42 points in that game. And Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns and 0 turnovers. So first time that's ever happened that someone had 6 touchdowns and 0 turnovers and lost a game. So you had that. Then his very next game on the road again, going against the number 1 team in the NFC. Record-wise, whether you want to say record-wise or how it looks, but record-wise at that time, the Lions were on an 11-game win streak. People were talking about the Philadelphia Eagles win streak, and it's phenomenal. 10-game win streak is good, but they were on an 11-game win streak, and they have multiple players on IR right now. Aiden Hutchinson is out. David Montgomery just got hurt. We got an update from him earlier that he, thankfully can come back during the playoffs. He more than likely doesn't have to have surgery. He won't have to worry about a season in the injury, but he will not play in the regular season. It's only a few games left. He won't play again in the regular season. Let's just get that out the way. The Bills in that game against the Lions were 5 of 10 on third down, had almost 200 yards rushing on the ground, and only allowed 48 yards rushing. And that's the Lions' bread and butter, was running the ball. But like I said, David Montgomery were down. James, not James Cook. James Cook played for Buffalo, but Jahmyr Gibbs, 48 yards total. So they weren't able to do much when it came to that. And let's be frank, this Buffalo defense allowed 42 points, but this offense just seems like it can't be stopped. You're going to hear talks about them possibly making it to the Super Bowl or at least the AFC Championship game. Josh Allen is, considered the MVP favorite right now. You got other people in that race, though. You still got Saquon Barkley. You still got Lamar Jackson. I personally think it's between those three. Um, some people may say Derrick Henry, but I think more certain than not, Lamar Jackson is going to get that nod. Um, so you got that going. But the Bills have also beaten some of the best teams this season. As I just mentioned, they beat the number one team in the AFC and the Kansas City Chiefs, who seems to skate by all of their wins, and they beat the number one team in the NFC, the Detroit Lions. So it's only right that they talk about them possibly being the best team in the AFC. But the Ravens have something to say about that because the Ravens blew them out 35-10 early in the season. So you got that. But the Buffalo Bills are without question one of the best teams in the AFC. It's between 3 or 4 teams right now. You know, you got the Chiefs, you got the Bills, you got the Steelers, and you got the Ravens. I think it's between those 4. I think it's between those 4 in the AFC at least. You know, I don't necessarily believe in the Texans that much, but the Bills, they are a team to watch, and they seem to start to get healthy. You know, Matt Milano just came back. His first game back was in that 49ers game in the snow, so he came back in that game. It's looking up. You know, they went and traded for Amari Cooper. They got Keon Coleman in the draft out of Florida State. They got some guys that can help them win this game, so or win some more games. So let's see how they perform when the going gets tough. But they seem to answer the bell at least twice. Like I said, two out of 3 games they won against top teams in the NFL. It's only right that you give them that. And hey, welcome to the Dawgs, Buffalo Bills. This next